Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the hell you may fucking be. It's got to be one of them. But I want to report early election observations that are based in reality. And I just figured maybe throughout the day I'll throw a bunch of these up, and we'll go from there. But along the way, throwing this information up, it's important that I share with you some of the facts that we can compare it to. So let me share a screen. Um, okay, a lot of folks haven't heard of a place called Dixville Notch, New Hampshire. I'm putting that on the screen for you. Let me see if I can get this probably as big as it's going to get. But let me give you a little story about what this is the first place in the country that votes. At 12 midnight on last night, 12:01 a.m., they begin voting. Now, you'll see that in the early voting, or in this particular vote, Dixville Notch, the top line shows Trump, Harris, 3 apiece. Now they show you what happened in 2020. Dixville Notch 2020, Trump 0, Biden 5. And Biden barely won that election. Barely won the election, right? Now look at 2016. Trump 2, Clinton 4. Clinton lost. Do you see? Now, the fact that they split like this shows you what I pointed out in my stream last night. Harris's candidate, her power as a candidate is the equivalent of Clinton, but not quite Clinton. Not quite Clinton. And Trump as a candidate is more of a candidate in Dixville Notch than he's ever been. And this, so you know, it's been a tradition for people to observe which way these folks go. And it seems that the irony here is that unless Dixville Notch goes unanimously against a Republican candidate, the Republican candidate tends to win the election. So I thought that would be a fun, cute little thing to show, and I hope people can see the reason why I showed it. Right? What up there, Candy? Let me see if I get anybody up on YouTube. And there's a couple of people. I think it's me and you that are in here. We're coupled up right now. This is like couples night here on election day. Let me give you some more information. This is what I've been trying to point out for months. But let's just real quick review. Kamala's screwed based on what Dixville Notch is showing us. So we can close that out. Get rid of that. Okay, it's gone. And we'll have to restart here. So let me see. What do I got over on Twitter? Or I'm sorry. I got to stop calling it that. Do I even have? Where's my my Twitter column here? It should be broadcasting on Twitter. Why wouldn't it be? Right? For some reason, this is not showing up on Twitter. Shame on you, Twitter. Do I have Twitter selected? Yeah, I do. I believe. The math don't math. Let's see. What is this? Yeah, Twitter is selected. View on Twitter. Let me see if that'll let me do that. Let me see if it shows me on Twitter. Apparently, there it is. It is on Twitter, but and there's 7 viewers. I want to welcome the viewers of X, not Twitter. Fuck Twitter. And fucking people banned me 21 times. I've been banned a few times since I've been on X. You know, I mean, I am very, very colorful. I do say some of the nastiest shit these people need to hear than anybody else that I know out here. And I'm proud of myself. You know, if you're going to live life, be proud of yourself. So here we go now. I was telling you that it's the economy, stupid. It's the inner city, stupid. Right? That's what I've been telling people. Now check this one out. Let me see if I can stream this. Let me bring it back to it, to the title of my stream. Okay. It's so I gotta close that. I'm afraid to hit this escape button. Hang on. Here we go. Hang on. A little bit of confusion here. My third world country chief of staff and my third world country tech director just aren't really here to help today. So let me present this. Share my screen. All right, let's see what we got. This is going to be something that I'll play. You should be able to hear it quite easily. If you cannot hear this, let me know. But this goes to what I've been sharing with you about the inner cities. So, and this, here we go. Just listen to what this guy has to say.
The math doesn't work. The Democrats are down 1.7 million early votes in the battleground states. In urban areas, they are down 1.4 million votes in the battleground states. Among women voters, rural voters have overperformed early by 300,000. Democrats have to win their races early. Republicans generally win them on election day. And the margins don't add up right now for the Democrats in any of these battleground states. The math doesn't work. The Democrats are down 1.7 million early votes in the battleground states. In urban areas, they are down 1.4 million.
Can you imagine? She's down 1.4 million in urban areas. What have I been saying? That it's the minority and the low-income groups that are switching parties. They're sick and fucking tired of it. The other thing that he showed you is they're up 300,000 in the rural areas. The rural areas are Trump areas. So she's not only down 1.7 million, but then the 300,000 rural voters are more likely Trump voters. Not to mention what they don't show you, and a lot of this stuff is that most of your independent voters are going to side with Trump. And as I pointed out last night, I suspect this election is going to be a landslide, the likes of which we haven't seen since 1984. This woman has no fucking chance. The metrics of her power to draw voters is equivalent to Hillary Clinton in 2016. And every metric that I've showed you, unlike anybody else out here on the internet, that uses the Biden metric. Biden's metric exists only because of COVID, only because of shenanigans, okay, on a grand scale. So when you can't use Biden's electoral count, you can't use Biden's early vote count, you can't use Biden's election night count, because none of the metrics that you can actually track in real life even come close to that 2020 election. The only thing that you can compare from the 2020 election to the 2024 election is Donald Trump's performance in 2020. That metric is very consistent with the current metric, and he's adding to it. Okay? That's a legitimate place for the 2020 election to be applied, and the only place it should be applied. There never should have been this story that this was close, that this was close. That story of it being close was based on using Biden's metrics with Harris. But the metric I'm showing and the metrics that they're reporting, I have no influence on any of these outcomes or any of these results or any of these things these people say. I'm just some fucking idiot on Twitter or YouTube and Rumble. I'm nobody. But when you look at what I just showed you today, that's consistent with the performance of Hillary Clinton in 2016, what you're seeing happening with Harris. And it's been like that. And she may even perform worse than Hillary. That's why I say Virginia, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico. These states are all in danger of flipping and coming out red. Wisconsin, Minnesota, I don't know the next one. Pennsylvania, North Carolina. This is going to be a powerful election where the states that are jerking you off and telling you we can't count them for 12, it ain't going to matter. It is not going to matter because Trump is going to add states that nobody's talking about. And if it's shocking to me that you can have so many of these professional pollsters out there. And at the very least, I can say right now at this very moment, I've been accurate in the way that I've observed and analyzed the data when it comes to this election, that Kamala Harris does not in any way, shape, or form have the pulling power of what happened in 2020. There is no system in place and there aren't enough voters in place to give her the right to what Biden got. There's nothing there. So you have to then find a metric. And the metric that we have to accept is that what we do know about voters, what votes that have been counted, what we do know about those results are they mirror Hillary Clinton. And they're even worse than Hillary Clinton. And then that Dixon area, Hillary got 4 and Trump only got 2. I mean, to think that, oh, she's got 3 is a big deal, and 3 with Trump means the election's tied. No. Trump lost to Biden 5-0. If you're going to use Biden's metrics on Harris, then she should have won that town 5-0. And when Hillary won it 4-2, Trump still won the election. 3-3 is the worst place that she could ever possibly be in that particular district's voting. And that's actually a township that votes. This isn't a joke. This is really a town with like 6 people in it or something. And it's been like this for a long time. And it's always the very first the very first group or very first state or area in a state to vote. It's in New Hampshire, this particular area. And their vote generally is indicative. I mean, the fact that Trump pulled it out with only 2 from there, it seems like if the Republicans get 2 or above, they become president based on the last 3 that we've seen. So it's quite interesting. And the fact that this gentleman is telling you what I've been telling you, the urban vote, hell no. You can't lose that many people and expect to even hold on to inner city, to blue states. It's not even so much like in Florida. Watch how many of the Florida inner city, the urban area voters, watch how many of them come out for Trump. Your head's going to explode. And I'm telling you, you're going to see that in Chicago. You're going to see that in the inner cities in Georgia. You're going to see that in the inner cities in the Carolinas. You're going to see that in the inner cities of Virginia, New Jersey, New York. Trump doesn't even have to win some of these cities. He just has to kick them in the balls hard enough to make it come red. And it isn't that big of a catch. It really isn't that big of a switch that he needs, especially in most of these states that I named. New York, that's a big leap. However, folks, is it really that big of a leap when in 1984 the whole country voted for Ronald Reagan? To me, that's the metric that I've kind of focused my perspective is equivalent to that. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's how I viewed this after looking at the data. The data then made me go back, looking at things like this and other things prior to this, just made me go back and look at previous elections. And I think 1984 will be the most descriptive election that you're going to compare this to. Trump will not win it quite as powerfully as Reagan. I think Reagan won, 49 states? I'm not saying he's going to do that. I'd be stunned if he don't win 40, in all fairness. All right, folks. That's my brief little clip of the day. Remember, the math don't math. I'll be back when more stuff comes up that excites me. And if stuff comes up to disprove me, okay, obviously I'll come back and post that too. I have absolutely zero problem with being educated, because I believe education can only begin when you realize you're wrong. That's where learning begins, is by being wrong. And 12 gauge. What are you doing, 12 gauge? The hell are you still in here, 12 gauge? I just noticed his ass in here. Look at him. Trump wins. You're the man, 12 gauge. Winning with Trump means we shouldn't need any 12 gauges. All right, folks, I'll be back. I'm going to do some short clips, bounce back and forth. If anything else comes up that I think is worthy, then I will definitely post that. If I see Kamala start, the voters for Kamala start to pour in, and then, you don't know exactly what's going to happen. Obviously, there's no way that I can. However, the metrics that I viewed, I think I'm uniquely the only person out here looking at metrics and making a clear, concise argument that Hillary Clinton's metrics are Kamala Harris's metrics. Trump's metrics are Trump's metrics from 2020. And there's just no way a 2020 performance by Trump is anything other than a massive landslide versus what Clinton was capable of back when she ran. So, all right, we'll be back. Be good. Thanks for stopping in, and have a good freaking day. And I'll interrupt you during the day. I'll be back and forth.